Command Point is sponsored by Crossfire Games. Use code CommandPoint25 at checkout to get 5% off your next purchase. Link in the description.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Command Point podcast. It is episode 75 today, and we have a very special episode. This is Shane, your host, and I'm joined here today by the winner of the Command Point Open, the inaugural Command Point Open, Greg Evevsky. Greg, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Greg. So, I mean, you're one of our Rochester locals. I was when we were setting up for the tournament, and I was looking at the entrance. So we ended up, I guess, just general report for the listeners. The Command Point Open went well. It was first time TOing. That was interesting. I was excited for it, and honestly, it was an easy weekend for me. And yeah, we ended up with over 20 players. I think it was 23 players was the end number. There were some pretty heavy hitters in the event, and I was obviously hoping that a Rochester native would defend the turf and win the tournament. But, you know, I see some of the names on the list, and I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be tough. But Greg, a Rochester local here joining us, took down the tournament, got first place, and you played Blades of Khaine. So
Sure did.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks.
I know you were between like factions. I had talked to you before the event, but you've been kind of playing Blades of Khaine for like ever.
Yes, since the beginning of the new edition, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely had your you were tempted to not take them. I know, but like, what was the what went into the final decision?
I was just looking at teams, and eventually Scout Squad caught my eye. I got the models like right next to me on my computer over here, and every time I look over, I see the Scout Squad here, and I haven't played them in so long, and I was just doing some math and stuff, and finding out their shotguns are better than I thought they were, and like hitting on twos is pretty good, it turns out, and just I just thought through what matchups they have, and all the teams that are good, Scouts have good matchups into. Like Battlecade was the big one on my list. They kind of chew through Battlecade pretty easily, and it was stuff like that. I was just thinking about what teams were good, and Scout Squad seemed good, but I haven't been able to practice much, and Blades of Khaine is just what I know best, so I ended up going with Blades.
Yeah, I mean, we've got kind of I'd say in the Northeast in general, extending to Ontario, we've got a pretty healthy retinue of very good Blades of Khaine players up here. I mean, there's no shortage of you guys, I feel, in the region.
Yeah, in your Command Point Discord, I think there's been an uptick of Blades of Khaine players too. It's cool to see. They're the most rewarding team to play by far. You can do so much cool stuff with them, and I think they're a great team for new players too, just in general. Like almost all your guys have the same stat line. You got to remember one thing for each guy, and then 5 different aspect techniques they can do. It's easier than you think. I know they get a lot of flack for being the most complicated team in the game. They definitely have the most rules, but I don't think they're maybe it's because I've played so many games on them, but I don't think they're as complicated as people say.
Yeah, I mean, I had you on for the 12 Days of Kill team for Blades of Khaine.
That's right.
I remember you talking about how, for a new player, probably playing like a mono Banshee team or even a mono Scorpion is not like the worst thing to learn, because it's like you said, they all have the same stat lines, and I mean you only have one set of aspect techniques to learn, and you can kind of ease into the rest. But honestly, it's kind of cool to see them in the hands of a good player, because they just have such a bounty of solutions to different types of problems, and I feel like there's just an endless list of different approaches you can have to any given matchup.
Yeah, Blades of Khaine might be the best elite horde mid-range team in the game. They really can do it all. The shooting, they don't have piercing, but the rending puts in a lot of work, especially with the Dire Avengers getting lethal 5 on their shots. It's a pretty reliable kill. And I mean, everyone has power weapons. How can you say no to that? You know, they do a lot. They do everything really. Great team to pick up and learn for newer players for sure.
Yeah, and I would say I've noticed that they're kind of deceptively durable too. Like, you look at 8 wound 4-up saves, but there's really so many layers beyond that when it comes to just killing one of these guys. that I've run into, and you know very well. I mean, the Justice Scratch, the pre-parry, all like the guard shenanigans on ITD, they could be really slippery.
Yeah, especially on ITD, you mentioned guard is just kind of breaks the team for me. There's so much you can do with it between like being able to like my favorite play with a banshee is just to go on guard behind a door. If they move, open the door, try to fight you, you strike them with a crit and then just dash away because you can only do that on your you can only do that strike and dash on your action, but the guard counts as your action. So they just end up staring at you afterwards. Like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a good one for sure. And not to mention you have like also with the banshees that you can scream at them with a point blank shot after a
yes,
charge, and then they're stunned and they can't do anything. So
and they count as expended when they activate too. So you got ceaseless on that scream.
yeah,
Uh,
um,
yeah.
pretty interesting. I mean, I guess before we get too deep into Blades of Khaine, I do want to like briefly touch on the results. So obviously, Greg, you in first place with Blades. In second place, we had Raveners, which was very interesting. Third place was Void Dancer Troop. Fourth place, I believe we had Vespids, and then beyond that, I'm blanking, but that's our top four. So weird teams. And I mean, I think the whole top 10 even was like different factions, and that was pretty cool to see. It was a really healthy like matchup spread. It wasn't super dominated by, I'm not even sure what the top tiers would be considered right this second, but um, it was an interesting meta, I think. And I mean, you played probably five different teams or five different teams.
Yeah,
played against.
every team was different. For every team was different. Yeah, round one was against AOD. Round two was Rakas, and then Felgor for three, and then Void Dancer Troop for four, and then of course Raveners on the last round. It was cool to see. Meta's in a really healthy state. It really does feel like almost every team is viable, with the exception of like a small handful. But even Vespids took fourth. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. That, I mean, that's the Orion Wilfong effect. We had him on
Yeah.
pod last week. He did quite well with them. I was impressed, and I was going over to that table a lot just to like snoop what the heck was going on with Vespids, and you know they roll a lot of dice. They do a good amount of damage. They fly. It's a pretty cool team. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk a little bit about like your approach to some of these games. I know in the first game you played against AOD, it was against a newer player, but you ran Mono Banshee, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, yeah, Mono Banshee, and every time I run Mono Banshee, I take the Mirror Swords leader because it might not be the best, but it's definitely the coolest looking model and the most fun for sure. She's still, that's not true. She probably is the best of the Banshee leaders, but yeah, versus AOD, I take Mono Banshee, and the game plan there is to just run at them, get them to blow their tilting shields early, and then they're kind of free pickings after that.
Yeah, so for listeners,
yeah.
Mirror Swords, for the
Oh,
leader,
yep.
that's 5 attacks on 3s, 4, 6. It's basically a 5 attack lethal 5 power sword, basically. 5 attack
Yeah,
power
it's
sword.
power sword, a power weapon with ceaseless. Yeah,
And
exactly.
if she does that, does she lose her pistol? Is that how it works?
She doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't have a pistol, but we usually when I take her, I end up taking crack grenades, so it's like she has a pistol.
Yeah,
At least
and
that's my player, yeah.
you're usually running, I bet, Mono Banshee if you're running the Banshee Exarch. Is that
Yeah,
usually true?
usually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anytime if I'm playing a mixed team, I usually end up taking either the Dire Avenger, the dual the twin cannons, or the striking scorpion with the claw.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess I want to ask because Blades of Khaine is a team that has like infinite choices when it comes to attack ops, quite literally. And so against elites, I guess like any Angels of Death, for instance, what was your take there?
Yeah, it was mono banshee and confirm kill.
From kill.
Usually when I'm picking my team, I usually just I work backwards. I figure out what tack up I want and then build the team based on that. And banshees just have such an easy time into elites that confirm kill just makes so much sense. You cut through them like butter between the power swords and throwing a crack in their face afterwards. You kill them easily, then collect the confirm kill for 2 points.
Yeah, Ceaseless
Just makes
Cracks
sense, yeah.
pretty good,
Oh,
especially
no,
with
not just it's not just ceaseless. It's the purity seals on the crack
yeah.
grenade. Really, like so the basic idea in any elite matchup is you run up with a banshee. They have a 4/6 power weapon, so you hopefully roll a crit and a hit. You strike them with a hit. Use the crit to do the rain of tears to fall back. Then you throw the grenade in their face and pick up the last 4 wounds there.
Yeah,
And
pretty
it's
good.
pretty reliable. Yeah.
Pretty strong. All right, so
Hmm.
you ended up taking that first game, and then you said in round two you played against Rakas. It was.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I it was on Volcus. I ended up usually I would take Mono Banshee into Rakas, but I ended up going a mixed team with the Striking Scorpion leader. And it was because it was one of the Volcus maps that had the stronghold in the center, so I ended up doing take ground. It ended up being an easy 6 points.
Oh
Just got to
yeah.
put guys in the stronghold, yeah. Um, that game was interesting. There was a moment where I was slowly building a lead throughout the game, and then one of my banshees charged two orcs. With my plan was to do the same play I described earlier, where I charge them, use Rain of Tears to fall back, and throw a grenade to pick up the kill. But I go to roll everything, and I roll 2 hits, and I just died off of that, and I kind of swung things back around to even. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
not getting
the
that crit on the dire or on the banshee can be
on anybody.
it's like the
This team,
bane with that. Yep. Yeah.
yeah, this team relies on crits between rending and the Brain of Tears specifically. You really do need crits. You got to roll good.
Yeah, I remember going over to your table there because, like, in the beginning, it looked like you're at a handily winning, and then I come back over and I'm like, oh my god, there's a lot of dead
Yeah.
Blades of
Mhm.
Khaine models, and you had like two guys in one stronghold, like on the opposite side of the rest of the Rekka team, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. The ending of that game was kind of nuts. It ended. I had it came down to he had two orcs left. I had my Scorpion leader who ate Pulsar Rocket at the beginning of the game, so he was on I think 6 or 7 wounds or something like that. I think it was on 7. And a Dire Avenger, both of them sitting in the stronghold. He in Turning Point 4, he wins initiative. And he ends up taking not Wa, but the other one where his shooting gets saturate or something like that. Because he needed to snipe
oh,
my
destruction. Yeah.
Scorpion leader. Yeah, destruction. That's it. He needed to snipe the leader to guarantee the game. And he rolls, he spends the 3 Rekka points, ends up with 4 hits at the end of all of that. And I'm lucky enough to save, I think, all 3 of them to live and not be injured. And
Ooh.
then thankfully I'm able to pick up the kill and secure the win. But that was a close one too.
Yeah, I mean, very intense
Yeah.
game. And then, speaking
Hmm.
of intense games, I believe you went into Felgor Ravagers in the next round against Max.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one too. That was on Into the Dark, uh, and I think it was coordinates on Into the Dark. And he staged most of his team on one side of the map. And I activate, I just autopilot activate a Scorpion, put him behind a light barricade, and then I look at his team, and after his call to the hunt, like, or whatever it is, he's got like 2 guys right next to each other, and it takes me a second to realize that, like, oh, I have a torrent shot. If I get a door open, I can move my Dire Avenger Exarch in a position, get some torrent 2 shots, and I do that. He charges the Banshee that opens the door, and I blew everything to make sure she lives. I use the parry before the attacker and the Justice Scratch so she lives on 4 wounds. And my Dire Avenger comes up and is able to frenzy 2 Felgor right off the bat, and that was a fun start to the game. We were Turning Point 1, there are dead models on the board.
Yeah, and this was this was a game for the double catapult Dire Avenger
Yes.
Exarch.
Oh, he was my MVP that game.
Yeah.
Between the ceaseless when shooting readied guys and lethal 5 on the on the torrent before the end of the Dark Rules, like, he put in so much work. I think he ended up killing 4 models because
Yeah.
he got the torrent too. Yeah, and then when I moved that Banshee up, saved her. He ended up charging her with another model, put her next to the other guy that fought the Banshee in the first place. I got another torrent 2 shot later in the game. That was he was I won that game off the back of the Dire Avenger Exarch for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the twin Shuriken catapult one in particular doesn't get a lot of love. Um, it's a
My favorite
pretty. I
model.
mean, yeah, it's pretty awesome. First of all, cool looking model.
Hmm.
He just looks like a total. It's like Rambo out there with he's got
Yeah.
the two guns. But I mean, having access to ceaseless, like regardless of like whether the enemy's expended or ready, um, really nice. And just getting those the innate double shoot off with the Exarch ability with that profile, especially when you have access to like lethal 5 or rending. on ITD, or not rending, torrent on ITD. Really powerful, and I mean it just like cuts through. I mean, you're just gunning down Felgors on that side.
Yeah, it's surprising how lethal. Just puns aside, it's surprising how good the lethal 5 and rending is as a combination. And then you add ceaseless onto it every time you shoot that gun. You're killing models every time you shoot. And if you don't, you shoot them again with the X-Arc at least.
Yeah, and
It's
you
one
were
of the things
able
I love
to.
about Blade's game. Yeah.
Yeah, you were able to frenzy a couple goats that had not activated yet on turn
Oh, yeah.
one, which
Yeah.
is just like, all right, he's down 2 models pretty much. I think it was, and I mean I know Max on the Felgor, as we've had him on the pod, was lamenting the crits, but I mean, to be fair, it's lethal 5 ceaseless rending that's going to get you a lot of crits a lot of the
Well,
time.
believe it or not, 2 crits. I think your average roll is literally 2 crits, 1 hit, or something like that. That's your average roll for that profile.
Yeah.
As crazy as it is.
Yeah, I did see an oops all crits at one point, and maybe 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, hey, it happens. It happens.
Between lethal 5 and re-rolling dice, I'm gonna roll crits. Uh-oh. Did my computer cut out here? Sorry.
No, you're good. And if I'm not mistaken, you didn't at this tournament end up taking. While we're on the topic of the Dire Avenger X-Arc, you didn't end up taking the Shimmer Shield Dire at any point, did you?
I had plans to. If I played Orion and his Vespids, I was absolutely going to take the Shimmer Shield Dire Avenger. I was looking forward to that, believe it or not. But
that's what it was. Yeah, the
yeah, it's surprisingly it feels kind of bad because you're giving up your Dire, you're giving up your X-Arc for that model, but in the Vespids matchup in particular, having the invulnerable saves is just worth it, I think.
Yeah, and I mean he can do he can do 2 fight actions, so I mean. You get the dire sword. Out of curiosity, there must be a something in the word, like the rules, to disallow this, but it says he can perform 2 shoot actions. Not that this has ever happened or this ever would. Are you able to throw 2 crack grenades in one activation?
Sure are. Oh yeah, that's something I have done before. Yeah, I'll take I call it cracker at 1 if I get a Banshee on Vantage, and like I've done it in elite matchups on Volcus where I'll fly the Banshee up over their heads and drop 2 cracks with accurate 1. It's surprisingly consistent. Between that and a Ceaseless and a Wraithbone Talisman, you'd be surprised how often that kills a Marine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, I guess we can. Sorry, continuing with the Felgor game. So I believe you had taken. Actually, I don't know what tack up. What tack up did you end up taking this game?
I think I was on Contain for that one. Yeah, I was on Contain against Felgor.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you kill a couple guys in the beginning, but I know that Max brought it back a little bit. In the middle, it looked like you both had taken about like a medium amount of losses for a while.
Yeah, Max, he's an amazing player. I made a pretty bad mistake. He took confirmed kill for his tack up, and I moved a Scorpion, had him shut a door that was had a bunch of confirmed kill tokens on my side of the door, thinking that if he does charge somebody, I can kill him with the Scorpion while he's on guard. But he ended up, like, I just didn't know the math on that. The Felgor leader is very strong in melee, and I blew my Justice Scratch like a first turning point, so I didn't have that safety either. And Max nearly pulled it off. Like, if his dice were a little better, he might have won that game. I'll give him credit for that for sure.
Yeah, it looked very close at the end in terms of like models left on the board, but yeah, I
think we each ended the. I think I tabled him, but that left me with 1 model on the board. It was a very close game.
Yeah. So I mean, you go out of day 1 3-0.
Yeah.
And then I think first there's only 2 other 3-0s left at the end of round 3, and there's 2 rounds left. And you end up playing against Aiden and his Void Dancers, and I think it's this was a funny one for me because just seeing Blades of Khaine versus Void Dancers, it occurred to me as I saw those pairings, I was like, these 2 teams are like the most similar teams to each other of any teams in the game, and I don't think I've ever actually seen this matchup happen before. So I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on that matchup are, but like, I mean, how did you feel going into Void Dancers?
It's not a good matchup for me. The domino field is very strong. You can kind of play around it between like when you roll a rending crit, and if you use the Wraithbone Talisman, you turn the 2 into the crit for rending basically, so they can't domino field away all your crits. but it's surprisingly hard to kill Void Dancers. They're very deceptively tanky. If we want to talk about operatives that four up saves with 8 wounds, you mentioned earlier that Blades of Khaine operatives are hard to kill. Void Dancers feel impossible sometimes. If they get one good roll with a domino field, it's like suddenly I think it happened once in the game where I had lethal 5. I shot someone with lethal 5. I think I ended up rolling like 3 5s and a 6, and he rolled a 5 for his save and domino fielded, and I ended up doing no damage.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He was real smart too. He also took he had some guys with the that sword that has severe on it, but he also took some guys that had brutal, which changed the combat math a lot. Suddenly a lot harder for my guys to live if he charged them.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
embraces. I
I think
see
so.
him. Yeah, I saw him taking some of those throughout the tournament, and I was like, I go over to his table at one point, and I see he has a little note that says "embrace" next to one of his guys, and I'm like, Aiden, what does the embrace even do? He had to explain to me that it's the brutal one. I know there's the kiss is 3/7, and there's the caress, which I don't even know what is that, rending maybe.
Probably. I think it is. Yeah.
And then the embrace, I believe, is the brutal, and obviously the blade is whatever he defaults to with severe.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I remember seeing you and Aiden's game, and it seemed like he had killed a few of your guys before he lost anything, and it looked like he was in control actually.
Oh yeah. He staged a guy behind a light barricade and gave him super conceal, but he put it in such a way that I had the option of move dash shooting with a banshee, and I ended up taking that opportunity, and I'm able to deal 4 wounds. I didn't even get the kill on it, and then his last activation, turning point 1, was running in, killing one of my scorpions, and then threatening to shoot that banshee if he won initiative. But but we go to roll initiative for turning point 2, and he wins it, is able to kill that banshee, and instead of killing another banshee that was real close, he ends up going on guard, and he basically ended up just 2 for 1ing me right off the start, off to a strong lead, and I had to play from behind for I think almost the entirety of that game. I think I was only able to pull it back like turning point 4, I think, is when I actually finally got a lead, and a lot had to go my way for that game too.
Yeah, I think there was it felt like all your games ended up being very close throughout this tournament. Like they were all kind of down to the wire, very exciting. Like there was definitely no like stomp performances, but I mean the just like the different toolbox choices that you were able to make with Blades of Khaine is pretty cool. So what did you end up doing on TAC Op this round?
It's Void Dancers. It was on ITD, and it was on one of the maps where Secure is just really good, or Contain is really good. So I ended up going 3 Dire Avengers, 3 Banshees, 2 Scorpions with the Dire Avenger Exarch again, and taking Contain.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, Contain on some of the ITD maps, to echo your point, it's like they kind of just have to like go out into the wide open through a door in order to deny your Contain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and in some of those, it's pretty interesting. So you end up taking that, and then for the 5th round, you play against Raveners. You and
Yes.
Raveners are the only 4-0s left, and obviously new team. You have a little experience on Raveners, right? Going into this,
I think I had 3 games on them, so I kind of know their game plan. I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one to talk about because I remember you overhearing you talking to somebody before round 4, basically saying that you had like a solid game plan into what you were going to do against Raveners, and it was not what I had imagined you were going to do. You were saying mono banshee, plant beacons, hug, stay on vantage points to that way they can't just effortlessly hit your guys from
exactly.
tunnel. And then
my game plan was to run away, basically try to run away, plant beacons around the map, and first activation, I throw that game plan out the window. He staged.
Didn't do it.
I did. He staged the leader behind a door in one of the strongholds, and I decided to run the Mirror Sword's Banshee up to such a spot where he could charge him to try to bait it, because the Ravener's melee is good, but the Banshee Exarch is just better, honestly. Like between Just a Scratch parrying first and having Ceaseless, I didn't remember at the time that the leader turns off Ceaseless, but in my head, I think that's a fair fight. Like I live often enough, and then another Banshee can come clean up the kill after. But instead, he move dash shoots me. The leader lives on 1. I'm lucky for that. And then every operative, I think, almost every operative that had yet to activate ended up shooting the leader to kill him. I felt like every time I rolled a crit for rending, he just rolled 2 6s to stop all damage. I literally had to activate. I think it was last activation the leader died, literally, after like 5 shoot actions. It was insane.
Yeah, you threw a lot of bullets into that guy, and it was kind of funny because I mean you were taking obscured shots at him too.
I was,
And
yeah.
just with, I think you had Ceaseless, so it was kind of a matter of like, you're going to get 3 hits through, hopefully, and then, they're saving on 5. So,
Yeah.
But, I mean, he just, those guys have a lot of wounds, and if you hit a few
do.
saves in clutch moments, then they just don't die. And
Yeah.
this one, it did eventually drop, though.
Thankfully, if he had survived a turning point 2, I think that would have been the game right there. I regretted essentially coin flipping the game first activation. I did not need to do that. I don't think I built this solid game plan and I just threw it away on a whim, basically, just to see what would happen.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the game plan you described of, like, hugging vantage points and planting beacons and running away, kind of avoiding,
Yeah.
it sounded really, really interesting to me. And I was like, oh, that actually sounds like it would work. And then I walk over, and it's like halfway through turn 1, and I'm like, oh my god, Greg's just shooting. He's making like 4 shooting attacks on turn 1.
Yep.
But
that game was super interesting too.
Yeah.
He ended up taking Overrun, and like turning point 2, he ends up scoring just 1 point on the Overrun. I get the revenge kill. I think it was the Venom Spitter. He ran up, got a kill, and then I get the revenge kill to deny the Overrun. But then eventually in like turning point 3 and 4, I just ran out of models for him to kill for Overrun, and I was able to stage my guys in such a way that he couldn't score Overrun, basically, and that's in part how I won that game.
yeah, and I mean, I think in
9 points
general,
Overrun.
Overrun is a tougher one for Raveners to play, just because you might get that kill on the other side, and then later in the game you want to like go back under your tunnel, but you can't because then you wouldn't be in their half.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
it makes sense. I kind of see the vision with Overrun there. You got a guy with 20 wounds. He can
Yeah.
survive a couple of shooting attacks. I think it can definitely work. But when I play them, I usually take Implant. That seems to be the more reliable way for me because you got the one guy who poisons people. You basically use one of your hits on there to implant and then poison them, and then they're gonna die eventually, and you're collecting implant points the whole time. That's kind of my game plan with them.
Yeah, I've only got one game on the new Raveners so far, and I also went with Implant, kind of like a low engagement level gameplay where I'm like not fighting a ton, but when I do, it's like I'm trying to be as safe as I can and get some implants in and then run away. But that was not really what we saw here in this game. I mean, Overrun,
Oh,
very aggressive, running up onto the middle to get some shooting attacks off on turn 1. And you were using all your acrobatics because you have 2 of them.
yes. The benefit of taking Mono Banshee right there was being able to run away twice as well.
Yeah, and you can scream twice as well, right?
Yes, that actually came up pretty. I don't think the Scream twice came up, but it was at one point in the game he staged 2 guys on the middle point together, and I basically sacrificed the Banshee to get 2 stuns off, and that ended up being what kind of sealed the game. Him not being able to shake the stun off on the turning point 4 to kill my last operative.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess to put it all in perspective, on turn 4, you have 2 operatives left, and he has 3 Raveners left.
Oh man.
And it looks to be kind of like out of sight a little bit. I remember thinking, yeah, this doesn't look great. But I mean, it just there was one charge through a stronghold where he's on the outside, you're on the inside, so you're fighting first. And it was a 10 wound Ravener, so you actually were able to kill him in his own activation.
Did him too. I think he was on his tunnel, and the contempt came in clutch there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you just planted some beacons, got a sabotage off, and you ended up.
One of the beacons I planted was in his drop zone. That's how far I ran away.
Yeah. And you ended up
And
tying that game, right?
we did, yeah. And the MVP of that game was the Banshee. He poisoned at the towards the end of Turning Point 2. She survived the shooting attack on 4 wounds. I go to activate her Turning Point 3. She ends up sabotaging his home point, takes 2 damage from the poison, is alive on 2 wounds there. And then the last activation of the game is that Banshee. He rolls the D3 for the damage, and he rolls a 1. And that Banshee's able to score 2 more points on top of that with sabotaging his home objective again, and then running to my side of the board, planting a beacon, and being able to switch to conceal, stay in cover. That
Yeah,
was
that
a
was
massive
insanity.
swing. Oh, that was the game was out of reach. If he rolled a 2 or better on the D3 there, that's the only reason I was able to tie the game was that 2 point swing.
Yeah, because I think it
Hmm.
finishes 15-15, and then if you don't get those points, I think he's pretty safely in it. Um, so definitely crazy. I mean, I guess in hindsight, you would have probably preferred to have gone for the play style you thought of initially. I take it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just looks like it should work. That was my first matchup in the Raveners, and like I know the Banshee. The only reason I did it was because I knew the Banshee the Exarch, the Banshee Exarch is super strong in melee, just strong to the point where she kills people in retaliation. Like I figured I'd set a trap, and he outplayed me. Um, but and a lot had to go right for me to tie that game. It was crazy.
Yeah, and you end up winning on the tiebreakers.
Yep.
So I mean, just a crazy tournament, and um, you ended up getting the little baby trophy for the first ever CPO.
Yeah.
Hope you cherish that one. I'm not gonna lie,
I'm looking at it right now. I have it right on my desk. It turned out pretty well.
it's
Appreciate
so
it.
I was talking to Ryan in between rounds or during one of the rounds. We're like sitting over there, and they had their guy at the store 3D printing the trophy. Like they have like a 3D printer specialist, and he's printing the trophy like mid tournament. And Ryan's trying to give me a visual of how big it is. And but when I saw it, it was so much smaller than I had imagined. But it's kind of charming in a way for like the first Command Point Open. I think I like it.
I like it. It's cute. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely cute.
Yep.
Next year we'll probably have a bigger thing, and so next year, I mean, I'm hoping we can. This is gonna theoretically, the hope is that we're gonna have a yearly event over at Millennium Games. Which shout out to Millennium Games for sponsoring and running the event at the store. I mean, it's a massive game store as we know. We're the locals there, but I mean, it was kind of funny to see the people traveling in from outside of Rochester and seeing it for the first time and like being blown away because
Yeah.
truly gigantic. I think it is still the largest game store in the country. I think by square footage. Um,
It sounds right to me.
yeah, it's absolutely humongous, and I
It,
mean, we had capped it at about 32 players for the first year. I think the plan is next year when we do this again, we're gonna have 64 players and 6 rounds, probably 5 to 6 rounds. We had 5 this year. Having a weekend event is always fun. You get people to travel out. Again, my first experience TOing a larger event. I had a good time. It was fun. I'm not used to TOing. I'm used to being in the tournament. But
you ran a good event for you ran a good event. You were a good judge.
thank you. Yeah, nobody complained. Nobody gave me a hard time. I don't know. Ryan told me after the event that he was kicking himself because he forgot to give me grief during the tournament and make my life hard. But everybody was great. No, nobody had any problems. It was very smoothly run. I mean, I think I did okay, but I also can't take too much credit because the players made it very easy for me. So I'm fortunate for that. Outside of that, I mean, so I guess going forward, Greg, obviously we were denied a golden ticket for this event, which grinds
Of
my
course.
gears.
Yeah.
Next year I'm praying we get a golden ticket. I mean, goodness, I mean it does. It's just funny to see like, and not to throw any shade at this event because from everything I've heard, the TO's a great guy, and some great players got tickets. But there was an event on the same weekend, in Tennessee with like 8 players with 3 golden tickets, and it just broke my heart with us with 23 players, no ticket, not even one. But hoping next year we get it. That would I would imagine we probably do, and hopefully by then the Rochester scene is even bigger and we get more people to come out. But I guess for you, Greg, I mean, you have been on the cusp of getting a ticket like multiple times now. Are you planning on sticking with Blades through the rest of the year to try and get it, or like are you still looking at scouts? What's the plan there?
It's a great question. I've been trying some Battlecade. They seem very strong.
Oh yeah.
They seem like my kind of team. There's a lot of different plays you can do with them, and I'm more than willing to grind it out, figure out everything about them. Blades, I love them. They're so fun to play. And I know for a fact if I stuck with Blades of Khaine, I'd win a golden ticket eventually. Just got to go to the right tournament, have the right day, But Battle Kid feel, I don't know. It's actually a good question. I've put a lot of thought into it and I don't have an answer. Blades of Khaine are probably going to be the team to play with because it's my bread and butter. It's what I know best. But Battlecade is the shiny new car that drives really fast, and I'm having fun driving fast.
Yeah, they're exciting. I want to get more reps on them. I mean, I've been having fun, tinkering around with both them and the Raveners a little bit here. I mean, supposedly there's a kill team announcement happening Friday. So, I mean, the day this comes out, this podcast, everybody listening, there's apparently tonight a kill team announcement. So, I mean, we'll see what that yields. Greg, I have to imagine though, if you do get a golden ticket this year, whatever team you qualify with, I would be disappointed if you didn't take Blades of Khaine to Worlds. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to, right? I mean, come on.
We'll see. I mean, I do think Blades of Khaine is an amazing team, definitely capable of winning tournaments with them. I'm not the only one out there who's proven that. And they are definitely the team I always have fun playing, for sure. It would be a heartbreaker if I didn't go to Worlds with Blades of Khaine. You're absolutely right. We'll see though. There's plenty of kill team left to play between now and Worlds. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we still got like 4 months, so I mean,
yeah,
there's going to be more events up here in the Northeast even. I guess there was something else I wanted to touch on. I mean, just in general with Blades of Khaine, I think I personally think they're the best elf team, and I think our last tier list reflected that. I mean, where do you stand on that? Do you think they're the best of the elves?
I think so. I think Corsairs might give them a run. Corsairs might give them a run for their money. That matchup is very hard for Blades of Khaine for sure.
Yeah, I guess Corsairs would be probably the closest. I in my mind. Probably not.
What are else?
Definitely not Mandrakes.
Mandrakes, no, yeah. Hand of the Archon, Void Dancers. Honestly, the couple of games I've played with them, it felt like Blades of Khaine light, like their diet soda. I think they do have some plays that Blades don't get to do, but and the fact that they have a couple operatives with 9 wounds instead of 8 makes them pretty strong. But it just feels like I'm playing Blades of Khaine when I play Void Dancers.
It's kind of interesting because I think Void Dancers are it's like Blades of Khaine, but instead of having like 20 cool things, but like, cool situational things, they have like 3 really strong tricks. And then but not much more than that. They don't have nearly as many tricks, and they're not nearly as flexible.
I just want to point out that the 3 cool, strong things they can do are all things Blades of Khaine can do. Like the move and shoot, and the fallback and fallback after a fight. The only thing they can do that Blades can't do is the double strike, which it's very strong. I'm very jealous of that. But it really does feel like Blades of Khaine just has, like you said, more situational tools. Like I may not have that double strike, but I can strike and fade. I can get a kill and then switch to conceal, and now you got to come at me to get the revenge kill. Things like that kind of put the team over the top for me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, it's very much like, like they're they don't have rerolls without like CP, but they do have rerolls with like situational, like against expended or ready operatives, and it's ceaseless. Whereas
Yeah,
Void Dancers get it like balanced here, balanced there.
yeah. They're also harder to pilot in that way. Void dancers are because you have to pick and choose where your balance goes. Whereas with Blades of Khaine, the 101 game plan is you fight the guys who are readied and shoot the guys who are exerted, and you're gonna win those exchanges. Just the way the team works with that ploy.
Yeah, and I mean being able to also the big thing I noticed watching, especially was just the ability to double fight or double shoot with an 8 model team is so
Yes.
strong. And I mean, obviously not the double shoot, but I've been playing Goremongers lately, and just being able to double fight with a team like that, where you have 8 guys and they're pretty chunky, and they can get double kills pretty easily.
Hmm.
And for Void Dancers, if they want to get double kills, it has to be like a charge fight shoot.
It's very limiting in what you can do in that way. Like you are going to get double kills if you do the charge fight shoot, but just sometimes being able to shoot twice, like not killing that guy on the first shoot, and then having the option to shoot again afterwards, very big. Something that Void Dancer shoot just can't do.
Yeah, I think you said this to me a long time ago that you think the Blades of Khaine are better than Void Dancers, and at the time I was like, no way.
Yeah.
But over time, it feels less hot takey to me. It feels right, and I think the Void Dancers are probably like an easier team to pilot. There's like it takes less craziness. I think I'm not easier because neither team is easy in particular, but I
No.
think that Void Dancers are probably have a lower ceiling. I think is probably the way to say it. Like I think you could take.
I think that's a good way to
Blades.
put it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's you're really good at doing those three things. The Void Dancers do those three things really well. But Blades of Khaine, you have the Swiss Army knife. You can get yourself out of a jam in any way. Um,
Yeah, and
and
I
yeah,
frequently saw you taking all 4 of the faction equipment in a lot of your
yep.
games, and I mean that team has some of the best faction equipment of any team in the
Oh, by
game.
far. Yeah,
It's
just a scratch
crazy.
once per game. Like that's. I remember when people were the beginning of the edition. People didn't think Blades of Khaine were very good. And the first buff they called for was just a scratch every turning point.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like once per game is good enough.
Oh
Like,
please
I mean,
no.
it's
Yeah.
busted. Yeah, I know. We don't need to play Rekka Crew over here. I'll
Yeah.
take once per game and I'll deal with it. This team would be honestly absurd if it was once per turning point.
Yeah. They'd probably be the best team.
Mm, by
Um,
far.
I I mean but even aside from the Justice Scratch, I mean the plus D3 to initiative is so much better than rerolling
Oh, yeah.
initiative. It's really good, and then you get a free CP basically on a random turn, but you do get it.
It's
Um,
guaranteed. Yeah.
yeah, and I've really, I mean personally, the way that I view this, and I've had this conversation a lot with higher tech players in regards to the cube. Um, it's I think for a 4th equipment slot, because usually there's 2 to 3 things on most teams where in that given game you need to take it. It's like you're gonna get so much value out of those 2 to 3 equipment slots. They're just necessary. And then the 4th, you have a little bit of wiggle room. And it's very rare, I think, to find a 4th equipment slot from the universal choices that are going to be better than a CP. Like I think
Yeah.
CP is just so good.
It's
Sometimes you need smokes, whatever. Sometimes you want stuns or something or ladders, but I find CP
kind
hard to pass up, especially guaranteed. Like Blades of
funny
Khaine.
funny you say that because that's usually the equipment I drop when I want to take crack grenades. I usually drop the CP and I hate it every time, but when my game plan involves killing elites by charge, fight, fall back, and shoot them with a crack grenade, you kind of have to.
Oh yeah, it's the one you drop,
Sometimes,
and I mean, with higher
yeah,
tech, it's the same way. It's like if
yeah,
I don't need anything, I'm gonna make that cube fit into my 4 spots. Like unless
yeah,
I absolutely need something else, like I need some barricades or smokes or something, I'm gonna take the cube. But obviously, it's droppable if you need something. It's like a
yeah,
luxury pick. I think a lot of the time,
exactly.
your 4th equipment slot, you can try to look at it like a luxury pick. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I love the blades. Like toolkit is just very deep, and I think that's like
Yes.
it's kind of the ingredients for a good team at the competitive level.
Being able to just have the right tool for you always have the right tool for the job if you have every tool.
Yeah,
That's kind of how Blades of Khaine feel.
yeah. So I mean, I guess looking forward, I've been playing a lot of Battle Clay, playing a lot of little bit of Raveners. I'm
Mm.
excited to see what comes next. Um, I I don't know yet what I want to take to Nova, but it's getting to that point where I have to start prepping for Nova.
Yeah,
We're supposed to get a data slate soon. I mean, it could be this week, it could be next week.
could be
Uh,
Friday, could be today.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm excited for a data slate just to like know. For me, like getting ready for Nova, it's nice to just get it out of the way and know what to expect.
Hmm.
I know we've had Novas in the past where it dropped like the week before,
Yeah.
and that's always frustrating. Like I think it was 2 Novas ago. There was Commandos were like the most busted team in the game, and everybody thought Commandos were going to get like a big nerf, and then no, the data slate right before Nova drops, and it's like they get like a poke. They barely get nerfed. Um,
They lost a dice on their choppas or something, the equipment choppas, right, or something like
Something
that. It
like
was like
that.
not, yeah.
Yeah, they could still do the triple sneaky get it this time. Oh man, those would
Oh
have
yeah,
been.
I forgot that was a trip. Oh, I never played when it was a triple, but man,
Yeah,
that sounds busted.
yeah,
You
it
could play
was.
this. You could afford to play the squig too, couldn't you?
Maybe, but you didn't usually what you do because you'd be playing on Octarius, you would put your like rocket and your sniper up on a vantage point like in the middle of the
Mm.
board, and it was just like so oppressive because there's 6 objectives, and odds are one of them is going to be out in the open.
Oh,
So
for
it's
six
like,
objectives, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy times.
Oh
Um,
man.
but yeah, I mean, it's. I think the meta right now is pretty healthy. I don't even know what to expect from days. Like to be honest, like probably some Sanctifier nerfs and like maybe Warp Coven nerfs, but like
I
it's
haven't
not
played
like
any
those
Warp
teams are.
Coven.
Yeah, those teams aren't like super popular. They're just like really
No.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
hope, hopefully some clarification on the rotation too. I think that's planning for
Yeah,
Worlds. I know that a lot of people are worried about taking like maybe not Commandos specifically, but any team that's about to be rotated. We're not sure if they're going to be playable at Worlds. It'd be nice to have an answer there.
oh yeah, like Void Dancers,
Hmm.
Warp Coven. Those
Oh,
teams
Void
are.
Dancer's on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it'll be interesting. I mean, do you have anything on the wish list for potential data slate?
I would like to see some new TAC ops personally.
Well, that's
Um,
not gonna happen. I doubt it.
I wish I can dream, right? Oh, in a data slate, definitely not. But that's what I'm hoping the announcement is for tonight, for Friday. This new TAC op cards.
That would be cool.
Hmm.
I'm like trying to think about like I feel like there's teams I'd like to see buffed. Um, like I'd really like to see like my crew get a little something.
What
Um,
kind of buff would you give Kroot?
so my dream buff has been that I've been preaching for a minute is I want double gunners for crew
Okay.
because like a lot of people are gonna say, oh, you can't build that out of one box. Well,
You
honestly,
can't, yeah.
you can't build an optimal crew list out of one box anyway. So like
Mm.
just let us have a second gunner, and then if you have the model, you got the model. Because like the way I look at it is every other shoot. Obviously, Crude has a little bit more melee than most hordes, but like every other horde team in the game has either much better melee or like a Melta type gun that can like just delete an elite model. And the only
Yeah.
thing Crute really has that's comparable to that is the Flamer, the Piercing 2 Flamer, which is great, but it's never going to kill a Marine. Because, I mean, even
No.
if you get all 5 hits, they're going to make one save and they're going to live on like 2 health. And, a Melta actually does have a chance of like outright deleting an elite if you like spike on it.
Mm.
So obviously you can't give Crute a Melta. So I say let them have both gunners. And also the other thing is, if you want to compare the Melta to the God, what is it called? The Skinner, the Dvorgite Skinner. The Dvorgite Skinners, it's heavy reposition, so you can't even like threaten the midline with it early on against a aggro elite player with like a move dash shoot because you're heavy reposition. So it's like Crute just need like something. They need a little more punch, and I think the easiest way to do that outside of like because I don't want to just like buff the crap out of their like melee because then they get too good against like the other things which they're already good against. I don't know. I'd love to see Crute be playable at some point before next year when they get rotated. We got some time though, I guess. And outside of that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need elite nerfs. Maybe we need. I mean, Sanctifiers probably should get a nerf, but
How
we'll
about
have to wait and see.
some Commandos buff? I would love to pull out the Commandos sometime.
Yeah, and I was chatting a little bit with JP actually, because JP took Mandrakes this past weekend, and JP's a great player, and he didn't do so hot with Mandrakes, and I suffered a little bit with that team trying to make them work recently, and I feel like I'd love to see Mandrakes get a buff where if they're in shadow, they just have balanced on their weapons, and the ploy gives them ceaseless, rather than being forced to pay every turn just to have like semi-reliable weapons. I don't know. That team needs something, Mandrakes, in my eyes.
I remember you playing them. You were always saying that they have some of the best plays in the game, but you run out of CP so quickly with them. You don't get to play everything.
They have like these awesome ploys, but then you're forced to use like the balanced when attacking ploy because you're just 4 attacks on 3s with no other consistency. And it's like, well, dang, I gotta take that. And you do that every turn, and it's like, well, I can maybe use like 2 of my other cool ploys because you got to use the dash one too. And then it's like the rest of your awesome kit just doesn't get used. So I don't know. It would be cool if, say, they somehow got some way to like not need to spend CP so constantly. I don't know. But I mean, other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap things up. I mean, Greg, again, congratulations on winning the first ever CPO. Do you have anything you want to shout out before we close it out?
Oh man, shout out to all the Blades of Khaine players, sticking it out on this hour-long podcast here. Shout out to specifically the Blades of Khaine channel on your Discord. That's been a great way for me to learn the team and spread my knowledge too. And everyone in there is great.
Yeah, there's like a well of information in there between you and I know George Armour is in there a lot. Milton.
Shout out to Milton. He's been making some content lately too.
Yeah, over at I think it's Adeptus Adequate. I'd like to have him on sometime, although I've now just done a Blades of Khaine podcast, so I don't know. Unless Milton picks up another team, it might be a little bit. But so I mean, obviously, thanks for coming on. I want to do my regular scheduled shout out to everybody that is subscribed on our YouTube channel. If you're listening, enjoying the stuff every week, and you're not subscribed, hit the button. It helps us out a ton. And there's a lot of people that I assume maybe just think they're subscribed, or they just watch it every week and they're not subscribed. And they don't even realize it. So, I mean, subscribe if you can, and we really appreciate it. Extra special shout out to everybody over at patreon.com/commandpoint. You guys are the best, helping us keep the lights on here. And, Command Point Open happened. I have nothing else to shout out for in the meantime outside of Crossfire Games. So, everybody, tune into the reveals tonight, if for whatever those may be, and keep playing Kill Team. This is Shane and Greg signing out.